Most of us call him our best friend, the one who is always available to us at any time. We call him excuses. In my book, Going One-on-One with Life, I call him Mr. Excuses. Hi, I'm Chris Fantastic Powell. I found by talking to others, Mr. Excuses seemed to be the number one character most people really love to use, and so do I. I find many of my own excuses of why I cannot complete a project or task without using Mr. Excuses as my personal best friend. He is the only character that everyone and anyone at any time can use in just about every situation. I want to live a better life, but I was not born rich. Excuses. I want a great relationship, but my parents divorced and I don't have a good example. Excuses. I want to do good in school, but I don't like my subject. Excuses. I really tried hard to get my report completed, but I ran out of time. Excuses. I can't spend time with my kids. I have too much work to do. Excuses. I want to call my family or friends, but I'm just too busy. Excuses. I can talk for 100 years and still not cover every excuse that people have and will come up with and why they can't or won't accomplish what they're supposed to do. Why is excuses so easy to use? Because he likes to become our very best friend. How many opportunities do you continue to let go by you because we're so busy allowing and inviting Mr. Excuses into our lives on a continuous basis? Do you think that Mr. Excuses doesn't affect your life? Bob received a ticket from running a red light one day. The officer said to Bob, "Make sure you check your mail. All the information will be there for your court date, address to appear, and so on." Bob responded, "Sure." About 3 months had passed, and Bob forgot all about the ticket he received. That same day, Bob ran the same red light. As soon as he saw the police sirens, he remembered about the last ticket he received and forgot to pay the fine. The police officer walked up to Bob's car door and asked for his identification. When the officer returned, he asked Bob to step out of the car and that a warrant for his arrest was issued, and Bob would have to go down to the police station. Bob told the officer that he had forgotten about the last ticket. The officer asked Bob why. Bob started to tell the police officer all the reasons why he forgot to pay the ticket. The police officer listened and then replied, "So you really don't have any real reason, just a lot of excuses." Bob was then taken to the police station where he had to call his family to come and get him out. Do you think excuses wasted more of Bob's time and money? Of course. If wealth was determined by the amount of excuses we make, I'm sure a lot of us would live like kings and queens. Excuses waste a lot of our precious time that we can never get back. Remember, there is always a cost for every excuse you make. For every excuse, there is a consequence that creates a circumstance which will cost you something. Don't get your report in time to school, you'll get a bad grade. Forget to put gas in the car, you'll be stranded. Forget to go to work, you'll soon be fired. Forget your anniversary, and you may be sleeping outside. Any excuse you make really has long-lasting effects. But Mr. Excuses wants you to think he's really no big deal. But he really is. Because of excuses is why we have bad governments, parenting, relationships, work ethics, businesses, just to name a few. Some have been ruined because of the many excuses made instead of putting in the work it takes to win. How do you win against Mr. Excuses? Stop asking yourself for permission and just get what you said you wanted to get done and stay committed to your goal. Mr. Excuses is like a wild weed. Once you let him in one part of your life, he will spread to as many parts as he possibly can. Keep him out. I'm Chris Fantastic Powell.